a typeface that I made a couple years ago called Hell Builder, and we're essentially going to make this like zine pages. So here you can see I have an Illustrator document open and a Photoshop document open, and I'm going to bring over a web page for Unsplash. We're going to be using some stock imagery, and I'm going to apologize beforehand because I watch tutorial videos and stuff all the time, and usually people have stock picked out and this and that, but I have no idea. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to make it up as I go along. All I know is I have a document space that is 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches, and I'm essentially making a zine layout, and I'm thinking, I might just make it like a commercial for typefaces. I don't know. Let's figure it out. Maybe a skeleton? Ah! This is actually pretty interesting because I don't really use Unsplash that often. I have a couple stock sites that I use, but this is not one of them. This is kind of cool. Let's download that. And I like this cartoon one. That's kind of neat. What about like magician? Like a magician thing. Ooh, that's cool. Look at that guy. Getty Images. That's why I don't like Unsplash. I'm like, oh, that's perfect. Oh, yeah. We're trying to build it with free pictures. That's kind of neat. This is kind of neat, just how it, I don't know. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Okay, so we got some magician stuff. Let's go into our Photoshop document, and Command J is going to duplicate that, convert it to a smart object, double click it. Going to go ahead and open up this picture of a candle. No. We're going to bring our images in. That was the hands, kind of neat. The magician, kind of neat. And the skull. You guessed it, kind of neat. I really like this picture. Wonder if there's like a I want it to like, I guess pinch is the one that I want it to use. And hands. Gonna use a little AI here to select the subject because Now the skull. I didn't realize that was a painting on a wall. That's even more bizarre. Notice we use a little AI there again to select. Also kind of like this, maybe is the face. Enter. You know what, let's, I don't want to merge anything. I want the mask. I don't want to disable it. I want to apply it. Why can't I apply it? Has it got to be normal? I don't know. Can't apply the layer mask. Alright, we'll check this out. Select it, Command Shift C to select all layers V. Because all I wanted was a cut down version of this. Go back into multiply, and what we're doing is we're just kind of going to shape this to the contours a little bit better. I'm going to save this, and we're going to go into here and see how this looks. We're going to go into the filter gallery. That's all wrong. First we got to hit D and then go into the filter gallery. Oh, I see. That's like an outline. So I think I might remove that hand that is on the left side of the screen. I'm going to see, so then it's just like his, looks like his hand and the skull. So, and the way I'm going to do this is so dumb, but I'm going to take this that already has a layer mask on it and stick it in another group in case I change my mind, which I don't, probably won't, and yeah. But this is also going to help me out with something else, which is bringing the skull down a little bit. The illuminated skull. Because you see this thumb right here? I can tidy that up on this mask. Because I want that actually behind the skull. D. Command S is going to save this for us. And maybe we'll make it, maybe the skull should actually be the other direction. No, no, I was wrong. Not with that angle. All right, let's take it on over to Photoshop. But first, do we need some cards or something? Like this guy has weird bubbles and shit. These are cards flying through the air. That's kind of cool. That guy's got a nice beard. Bum 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 bum. Cards in the air. Cards in the air. This would be cool if they weren't all the same card and one of them wasn't cutting his face. This one's kind of cool. Let's check that out. Might be interesting to throw on the bottom there. Select subject. Excellent. I knew that was going to happen. I want my magnetic, because I'm just tracing around these cards. Not that extra space there. I mean, I added that. I probably didn't really need to. Come on, brush. I know that's cut off there. I just kind of want to see if this actually works. It does. I think I might move it to the left a little bit more. And behind the arm. So now that card is in the back. This card is erased. This guy does all the things. Too much. All right. Oh, lorem ipsum. I gotta spell check everything because I spell things wrong often. Montag the Magnificent is the magician from Wizard of Gore, which is a film by Herschel Gordon Lewis. And what I'm doing right now is just kerning it in a bit. This font, I guess I would say it like it tucks together pretty well, but nobody's perfect. Know what I'm saying? Some things need some work, and that AG definitely needs some work. So now I want that the over here. And this is an issue that you run into when you have a typeface where things are extremely small and extremely big. And if you'll notice here, the issue that we're seeing is the texture. It looks more rough in the smaller stuff. So a good workaround for this, back to here, is actually what we're already doing with the smart layer. And we added an effect to the smart layer. And what that does is it blurs it up a little bit, because that's the effect that we added. And on his shirt, I'm going to lose some of that detail, that white. So what I want to do is I just duplicated the layer, selected the layer, made a new layer, filled it with black. You could do the same thing with, duplicating the layer and then inverting it. But I want to go to do a Gaussian blur. I don't really think that did as much as I wanted. Yeah, 0.6. I usually keep my settings in the same place for a long time, so I don't really adjust them probably as much as I should. That's nice. Now it like flows with his shirt. So this is what it's going to look like when we go back into our original. So this is the new. And as you can see, the skull was done wrong. So let's see if we can find some taglines. From the movie. If you've not seen this movie, it's out of control. I don't know. I don't like this. It needs more. And you know, I'm not sure what it needs. So let's add some texture. First, we're just going to type texture and see what they have for us. Oh, we got some ground. That's nice. This is kind of nice. Depending. That's weird. All right, let's type in photocopy because we love to photocopy texture. Is any of this? That could pass if we made it black and white. These are photocopy textures. Let's just try printing. Maybe there's some print errors. Looks like pictures of people printing textures. So we're looking for more like what it keeps trying to do us. That. So let's see if we... Next best thing's probably going to be outer space. Since they're not going to give us a good texture. Here's a good texture. That's also a good texture. Choose this second one here. This will do something really interesting. So I'm going to save this and see what it looks like. I'm going to turn off Montag the Magnificent, but I'm going to leave that G because it's interesting. It's quirky. I don't know. Now we're just going to make this say, experience the horrors of the mind. We're going to write experience. But we want this in a cleaner font because we want it to contrast quite a bit. So I have a bunch of cleanish fonts that I'm kind of working on. Experience. Experience reality. So now we're going to break all the rules. All right, so let's say this is live in person, one night only. And actually, I don't want that in black like that. I like this behind it. Kind of tricking it that way. Just stretching that type. Experience reality like never before. And you know what? That'll be interesting if this actually gets cut off on the top. So that'll actually cut off a little bit. And I'm going to bring Montag the Magnificent back in to it. Copy. I mean, magician posters back in the day would have said like Houdini really big and shit, but like, name 6 illusionists in 2025? You know, maybe you can. I don't know. He will speak to you. Oh yeah, I don't have like half the characters for this. I don't even have periods. You know what? That's probably enough. We'll put a little Remedy 667 logo right here in the middle. Oh, and this is something I use sometimes. I don't know if it's going to work with this. It won't work with this. Never mind. Forget I say anything. So, see how this is a little bigger? Means it's going to fit into this all wrong. Smart object. My keister. So, that wants to match up there. And we said it's going to be cut off a little bit at the top. That's probably perfect. I went searching for a Remedy 667 logo. You know, sometimes you got a good one. Sometimes you don't. But I don't really want a good one. I want that to be... Whoops. And for one last small gag, actually, let's see how this looks so far. I do want to put some kind of... some kind of dirt or something on here. I want a subtle, what we want is subtle texture. That's got to be the word we're looking for. Ooh, that's really nice. What is this crap? These are like computer backgrounds or something. Weird. Yeah, I don't even know what that is. All right. That one we got was pretty good though. So let's drag that over. And we're going to put a threshold on that. Crank it up to like there. I like that. Actually, I want to bring it down a little bit. I do like the clips on it. You know, you don't have old paper, you don't have photocopy. This is what you got. So let's get rid of the word texture. We'll just look for photocopy, and we'll just get a picture of somebody copying something. This actually looks pretty good. I don't know why I keep doing that. We're going to download this. What? How did I get here? Why is that locked? Why is it showing me locked images? That's weird. Okay, sorry. I apologize. I'm just kind of scrolling and thinking of other things that may work. That was actually really cool, that lighting, but I don't think it's exactly what we're looking for. So I see this plus mark apparently is things you have to pay for. I don't know. Old paper. There we go. Look at that. You get this fancy, nice old paper. This fancy, nice old paper. So, got that stain up there. That's kind of nice. And then this we're going to do for color. Hard mix, I love. It's always really good. So I'm actually going to do hard mix. I'm going to duplicate it and do like multiply. But this multiply layer we're going to crank way down because we're just doing it to add a little bit of color where those whites are. And there you go. That looks completely ridiculous. All right, that's it. Thanks for photoshopping with me. See you next time.